This is a Pubcast Shot. I'm John Loomer. How do you pick the ideal ads client? Let's go. So I've heard far too many horror stories to count on this. All right. So nightmare clients who aren't worth whatever it is that they're paying you. I totally get that there are times when it seems you can't be picky, but still, the wrong client can be a waste of time, resources, and energy, and they can actually cost you money. So let's talk about the priorities to consider when finding the ideal ads client. First, they let you do your job. Yeah, imagine that. There's nothing worse than a client who micromanages what you do. You are the expert here, which is why they hired you. If they think that they can do the job better than you can, then they should do it themselves. Now, some client input is fine and even invited. You may need their help with copy and creative, but they should not steer your strategy. They should not overrule you when it comes to best practices or ad policies. Otherwise, you've been hired as a middling employee, not as a trusted expert. Second, they have realistic expectations. They don't expect miracles. They understand that advertising is a series of adjustments. So in the early going, it'll be a matter of learning from what works and what doesn't and refining. Make sure that you and that client are on the same page regarding what to expect. The worst client is sometimes one who needs a miracle. If it's your job to save the business, you need to run away as fast as you can. Third, they set you up for success. It's an industry that can produce results. It's an established brand with a good reputation, or they have a high enough budget to actually get the results that they want. They have a polished and effective website that drives traffic organically. They have a separate team that manages a highly engaged social media presence. They have a sophisticated email strategy that doesn't involve you. They have a marketing team responsible for brand photos and sales copy. Now, I get it. The combination of all these things almost sounds too good to be true. Maybe you can't get greedy and demand that clients check each of these boxes, but all of these things will make your job easier. Fourth, they have a structure in place for advertising. So they've already run ads before and have their own business portfolio. They have the Pixel and Conversions API set up properly to send events. They have a history of ad performance that you can view and learn from. And if they aren't already set up properly, they expect to pay you extra to get these things done. And a bonus regarding pay is they pay you what you're worth. And finally, they communicate well. When you email them, they respond promptly. Now, on the flip side, they don't flood you with requests because they're allowing you to do your job, but they give you what you need when you need it. You're not waiting for them to move a campaign forward. So here's the bottom of the glass. Now, I realize that in a perfect world, the ideal client would satisfy all of these things. That may not be realistic, especially if you're light on opportunities and you need to pay the bills. But what you can do is be conscious of all of these things as you interview potential clients. Make note of the warning signs so that you know when it's not going to be worth your time. But also do your part in asking the right questions and setting appropriate expectations. I get it, it's tempting to promise the world when trying to land a new client, but that's going to backfire. Set reasonable expectations, even under promise on what they can expect. Then the goal is to over-deliver and be crystal clear about your own expectations regarding how this relationship will work. Meta advertising is a lot to keep up with. And if you go to my website, it can be difficult to figure out where should you start. Well, here's an option. I've assembled more than 50 of my most important blog posts. These are guides, tutorials, how-tos, detailed explanations of how things work that are central to knowledge of meta advertising. They are what I consider my cornerstone tips. So what you can do is you can subscribe to these Cornerstone Tips. Get a new one delivered to your inbox every Monday. It's a great way to kick off your week. Some of these are newer. Some of them are at least a year old. But you know what? They're still relevant. They're still important. So even if you're subscribed to blog alerts or something else, these Cornerstone Tips will help you get caught up on a lot of the older stuff that you may have missed. To subscribe to Cornerstone Tips, just go to johnloomer.com/cornerstone. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time, do awesome things. I'm out.